a thriving singular tulip, sweet homegrown broccoli,
Very good.
and more garlic than one person could ever consume in a given season.
They go inside of here, and there's a bunch of fruit flies in there too.
Parksville's Jim Enright attributes it all to his rainwater collection system.
I've seen people using quite large tanks, or put a pump in the ground and catch their water off the rain gutters, and then pump it up into the system. But here, this is all gravity. There's not this is the most reasonable way to do it, most efficient.
And he does it without barrels. Jim hoisted this old 16-foot boat onto some beams, patched it up a bit, attached the gutters from his house to the top, and voila! He says this is much more effective and more pleasing to the eye than the 13 collection barrels he used to have. He named it the Soaker 1 after the garden hoses he uses, and then painted an ocean scene on the side of it, complete with a whale, a seal, and a salmon that reflects the food chain. And you can't see them, but there are real goldfish swimming around in there.
If they get mosquito larvae in there, they eat them. There's a way to work with nature and not ruin everything and not contaminate. There's a way to do it, and you can almost feel it when you're doing it. Now, am I destroying Mother Earth or am I helping?
It's easy to see that he has helped this little piece of land.
Like when we came here, this was just sand and rock.
He says you couldn't get a shovel in the ground here before the work began. Jim spent 18 years in the military. He was an engineer and worked on pipelines throughout his career. All the while, he carried a poem in his pocket. The author is unknown. If a kindness I may show, if a good deed I may do to a suffering fellow man, let me do it while I can. No delay, for it is plain I shall not pass this way again.
I always like to help people, so I think this will help a lot of people, especially backyard gardeners. So I think that it'll do a lot of good. And it'll help the environment as well. It'll help their production. It's a win-win all the way around.
Jim and his wife Ruth produce more food here than they can eat. They freeze some of it and they donate a lot to the local food banks. They also host plant sales on a regular basis. So while this old boat may never float again, water is still crucial to its role in the cycle of life. In Parksville, I'm Kate Bergen.